All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Motion. Hey, check Mike 11. Time to go, night. Time to go.
Staying on the ground, this time it's Smith. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
We got this. Out. 59. Watch safety creeping.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Play action from Miller. Now Watson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. But now it's 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, here's Watson on the move to his left. He may try and run for this. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 46.
Not today.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
No game on this defense. No game. Check your hot read.
Watson hands this to Foreman. And he'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
This is it. 19. Watch my forward. You rush.
A first down carry now for Miller. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll try the air now with Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Set. 19. Here we go. Strong right. At 31. 3 down. Hey, check Michael. Let him go.
Out of the gun, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. They go back to the ground now with Miller. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. A shotgun snap for Watson. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Everson Griffin in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. 3rd and long, it's Watson. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And it's incomplete, almost intercepted. He had a great shot at picking that off in the end zone. It brings up 4th down. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. On 1st down, Harrington. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his 9th touchdown of the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And it's now a 7-0 game. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team, because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Watson with a give to Miller. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 11.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. To throw is Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. And that is incomplete. There to knock that one away defensively, Eric Kendricks. On fourth down, Trevor Daniel on to punt. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. It's taken to the 26. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. All told, it's a punt return of 74 yards. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. A lot of times they want this guy just to try to flip field position. He flipped it all the way into the end zone.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is, can you pick up 10 yards? That's getting a first down. Instead, he takes it all the way and provides a big spark for his team.
Bailey now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
Take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Throwing on second and long. Watson now on the run. He'll throw it back deep over the middle. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Picked off around the 27. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or two shy of midfield.
Okay, it's real simple to say from here, but we know that sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to know when to say when and just throw it away. Flushed out to the right, tries to make something out of nothing here, and he winds up floating one downfield. I think it's intercepted.
That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Check. Protein spill. Keep it up, guys. Ready?
On second down now, it's Harrington, and this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. You and I have talked about it before, but what about the year this guy's had on the ground? You come in as a rookie and in the discussion as MVP.
And people have always told me, running back, one of the easiest positions to break in, but not to this level. If you're talking MVP, that means he's had a sensational season.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
First and 10, stick. It's complete to Diggs. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Second and 6 at the Texans' 25-yard line.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up second and 6. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And an alley to run. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Marlon Mack, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
That was simply terrific vision by the runner. He was able to use his eyes and follow his blocks and carry himself to the end zone.
Bailey got the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line.
Take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On second down, here's Miller. And just not a big enough hole to break this one. He gets it to the 35 after showcasing that tough running of his. The tackle made there by Linval Joseph.
Third down and 2.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Watson now, operating from the gun. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Well, great blocking, nearly sprung in there. 28-yard return. And the Vikings will take over here, first and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
From the 35 on second down, Stick. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
Hey, team 6, team 6.
Here's Stick, third and long. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now a first down throw, Watson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Pounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the third most in a single year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And a rout is on here in this first half. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
The Texans on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8.
Hey, check Michael Landon, check Michael Landon. All right, T, let's go. Echo. Check Michael Landon, check Michael Landon. Check pass.
Operating from the gun, Watson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
From the 29. Stick toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Off play action, it's Stick. Going deep for Diggs. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Less than 30 seconds to go in the half. Pretty good starting field position, all things considered. You'd think they definitely have time to get into field goal range.
Yes, and you get into the huddle or you come off the bench here and you've called multiple plays because you're going to say, this is how we're going to run them in order, guys. You don't have time for audibles. You don't have time to change anything. You're trying to get the ball in position to at least get 3. They've got a great shot to do it right here.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Let's go. Hey, check Michael.
Watson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. Will Fuller was the intended target. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Check Mike 47. Check Mike.
Blue draw quarters.
What we got?
Fire.
On 2nd and inches. Stick. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now.
It's 3rd down and less than a yard.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches. Stephon Diggs, touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 11 on the year, as his guys continue to pour it on. Bailey got the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line.
Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
They keep it with Miller on 1st down. It's Xavier Rhodes there in on the stop.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Anthony Barr in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. The Texans send the punter out. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
At their own 23-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree.
But he's into the clear. The 40. Past the 20. 10. And finally out of bounds all the way down at about the 2. A big play there for Minnesota. 75 yards. And a strange one here, a little befuddled. They're sending out the field goal unit now. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. Bailey's kick is good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
A give to Smith out of the gun. And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 23-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Smooth.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stick escaping the pressure right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. J.J. Watt, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And Diggs has it. And he takes it all the way down to the 44-yard line. A big play there for Minnesota. 47 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. They'll keep it on the ground. Harrington. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 3rd down, it's Stick. And he's able to find Diggs. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 28.
Down. 91. Check 41. Greystone, Travis. Got you, boy. Hey, Orbit. Shoot.
Here's Stick on 1st and 10. And his throw is incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time, but it's going to be 2nd down.
Ready.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28.
Here we go again.
Ready.
On 2nd and 10, it's Stick. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sacked there by Jadeveon Clowney. Back now in Houston. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. 9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile. Stick back to pass. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10. Rolling to his right. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
From the 31, Stick. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 18. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Hey, foxtrot.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here.
And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the 4th quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. They'll run on 1st down. It's Harrington. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the 1st half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
They'll go again here with Mack. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Here's Marlon Mack. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 26-yard line.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it. And now on the pitch, the ball's loose.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a fourth down. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front seven? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 35. And his crew will take over with a football.